Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another presentation as a part of the Berkshire High Peaks Festival. My name is Carolyn Regula, and I will be your host for today. This festival is brought to you by Close Encounters with Music. All of our sessions are being recorded and will be live streamed on YouTube on the Close Encounters with Music YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe so you can stay fully updated on future talks and to get the latest news. Please consider supporting Close Encounters with Music and our ongoing festival. Our mission is to engage the imagination of diverse concert audiences in a welcoming setting, to connect listeners to performers and composers, and foster the excitement and sense of community that live performance builds. We also strive to establish a comfortable listening environment and to turn performances into enriching, educational, and artistically uplifting experiences. I will be including a donation link for the High Peaks Festival in the chat window below. You can use the chat window over the course of our presentation to communicate amongst yourselves. And if you have any questions for our presenter today, please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom window. I will be collecting questions and giving them to our presenter over the course of her talk. We're very excited to have all of you joining us tonight. And to welcome our speaker, we have Close Encounters with Music Artistic Director, Yehuda Hanani. And Mr. Hanani, could you please unmute, please? Thanks. You're good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is really wonderful that we have Garen Tolkin for a second session, because since the first one, it gave us a chance to think about a lot of things that she said and mentioned, and that includes me. She mentioned the "by the way" comment last time. Thank you very much for being with us again, Garen.
My enormous honor, believe me.
It's a thrill. Garen mentioned almost by the way, she made a comment about some of the Hollywood stars that she knows. You know, she's being very modest. She herself is a star. She is an amazing, intuitive, artistic woman, and really it's a thrill that we have her with us on the staff this summer. Anyway, she mentioned, by the way, that many movie stars that she knows, they may be neurotic, they may have weaknesses, they may have insecurity problems, they may have a whole package of personal disabilities and weaknesses. And then you give them a role. And the moment they get into the role, they are happier, they are freer, they shed all their problems, and they identify with a new identity, with whatever the role is in the theater or in the movie that they have to act, and it liberates them from their problems. They become different personalities, and they're at their best when they are not themselves, which sounds like a paradox, but it's an incredible thing to think about. And I immediately made the connection to us as musicians, as performers. And I thought to myself, this is the answer. Garen gave us the answer to stage fright, to fears of memory slips, of silly mistakes. All these don't matter the minute you manage. Maybe it takes years of experience to enter into the music to such a degree that you as a person disappear and you are the music. And I was thinking about all the advice that she gave us. It is not just how to impress a jury with the right kind of makeup. It's what happens is the magical transformation that happens when you identify with what you do to such a point that the inside and the outside reflect the same thing, and you become the part, you become the music. Of course, it can be dangerous. Daniel Day-Lewis, the great actor, was involved in a production of Hamlet. And by the second performance, he had a nervous breakdown because he got into the role so deeply. He was Hamlet, and Hamlet goes crazy, and he went crazy. He actually lost, he lost it, and they had to stop the production. So of course, you can take it to extreme. But I admire him for having done that, for having taken the risk to identify with the role to such a degree. I can think of one other example of identifying to such a point. Balzac, the great writer, wrote the Père Goriot, the Father Goriot, and it's a sort of a modern day variation on King Lear. There's a father with a few daughters, and the good one is the one who's really gets punished. Similar situation. People came to see him in the morning. He used to write all night. He drank coffee. He was addicted to coffee. He drank and wrote. People come in the morning to his studio, to his writing desk, and he's sitting there and he's sobbing. And he's saying, "She died. She died. Of course she died. You killed her. You are writing the book." That's the degree. He identified with what he was doing to such a point where this was his reality. The book became him, became the story. And when this heroine dies in the book, it's real to him. So, and I was thinking, this is what we all have to aim for as performers, as artists, and as actors, as anything, as painters. We become the work of art. And the reason I like to play with Peter Zasowski so much is that because I know when we sit on the stage, there may be mistakes, but Schubert will be there. Brahms will be there because Peter is going to be there he's going to bring Schubert to the stage with him. And if there is a tendency for some artists to become hams, to show off, as long as it goes with this inner world, I don't mind it. Bernstein had it both. Bernstein was an amazing ham. He knew how to work the crowds. He knew how to excite people visually. But at the same time, he lived for music. It speaks so well. Very few people know that when he died, he asked to be buried with a score of a Mahler symphony on his chest. That's what music meant to him. So thank you, Garen, for inspiring all these thoughts in me. And I wish to all our students that they get to the point where how they look and who they are when they are on the stage will become one and the same.
Thank you so much, Yehuda. That's absolutely the center of my point. You completely understand what it is that I'm aiming for, that you can take control so that you can forget yourself and become the music. And when you have something to hide behind, then you don't sit there and think, well, gee, do they see the zit on my nose, or will my pinky freeze up? You're thinking about what you're presenting only. And that's what you should look for and breathe for. And I love that. Thank you. I'm just delighted to hear that you're inflamed by this topic. Because so many of these things seem very obvious. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody, my name is Garen Tolkin. I do hair and makeup for people for public presentation, for red carpet. I work with actors, I've worked for magazines, I work for publicity, and I'm a music lover. I'm delighted to be here. I'm honored to be allowed to participate as a mentor in this year's High Peaks Festival, virtual High Peaks Festival. We're going to be talking about how to best present yourself as a performer on the stage, how to choose a brand, how to decide what your thing is, what makes you most yourself, and how you connect as yourself to the music, as your character. You can create a being, and it can be altered, it can be changed, but it has to be intentional. We'll talk about makeup, we'll talk about hair, we'll talk about eyebrows and about how to dress, And we're going to talk about your brand. Are you edgy? Are you traditional? Are you boisterous? Are you iconoclastic? Do you want to surprise your audience, or by showing up as one thing and then producing these sounds that are amazing that they would never expect from what they see? Or do you want to present to them what they can expect and then give it to them before you even emit a single note? Is everybody in the room? I don't see any faces. There's no one here. Hello. Hello. I look forward to meeting you all. Oh, that's so much nicer. I feel like I'm not talking just to myself. The most important thing is that your choices are deliberate, that you control your appearance. Your music will speak for itself. But if you are able to go on stage and know who you are and what you're presenting, it will give you a sense of security, because then you have something you can go to, a character who you can stand beside to, as Yehuda was talking about, all actors that I work with, and I work with some of the most famous people in the world, hate to be interviewed as themselves. They hate to talk about their own lives. They hate being interviewed by magazines, and all they want to do is disappear behind their characters. Well, here you can disappear behind your character and be allowed to produce your music the way you want it. Excuse me. Let's see. I have notes, and my note with all my organization is not in front of me. I don't know what happened. Can you just hold on a second? Well, I find it. I think when I stood up earlier, my husband's phone rang. Okay. To begin with, I just want to thank you again for allowing me this time in your life. I'm gonna run over the topics, but I have a slideshow that we can begin that will illustrate some of the topics that we're going to be talking about. This is a harpsichordist. His name is Jean Rondeau. He's a brilliant musician, but he's really taken charge of his own brand, and he's exceedingly brave. He appears like this, or he appears as, we can roll on with pictures of him. He reminds himself of a painting, and so he presents himself as this sort of monster nature man, or he can be, well, here he is. And yet look at his summer tour program. He's enormously busy. Go on to the next photograph. There he is, how he's looking right now. He's really starting to sell because he's created quite a unique brand that makes him stand out. Of course, he's a wonderful musician. I mean, he's an astounding musician. I think there are many astounding musicians who remain sadly invisible for their careers. And they say it's very hard. They get small gigs and they play in intimate halls and little local places. But it's really important to create a brand, create a website, make yourself accessible, and be something that you can hold. Another person, one of our hostess, Carolyn Regula, has a website that's just sublime. This is her homepage, and she's got photographs of herself. She has videos of herself, and you can see she's taken a very bold step. Please continue with the pictures. In presenting herself, she has a certain look, she has a certain persona. She is both a classical musician and the cello doll. I encourage you to go to her website and explore it, because it might give you courage to take hold of an image yourself. Moving on about brands, we've got Evgeny Kissin, who was a young pianist who showed up on stage with his hair billowing over his head. And everybody remarked on it. He was 12 when he first appeared on stage with Von Karajan. And over the years, you could always expect that he would show up with his fluffy hair. Here he is 20 years into his career, and the New York Times even comments about his hair. It's tilting his shock of hair. This is how he's looking these days. He's a little older, he's a father, he's got a family, and his concert career continues, and yet he still has his trademark. I mean, that has to be intentional. We've also got coming up, you can have your hair beautifully done. There's Renee Fleming, soprano. Look at how gorgeous she looks with full makeup and well, I mean, she's stunning, but you don't have to just look like Renee Fleming or to continue Maria Callas, who's the next. Now, Maria Callas made a brand of her eyebrows. Her eyebrows, obviously it was her personality and her vulnerability and her voice and her presentation, but her eyebrows were, and eyebrows are extremely important. You always want to make sure that they're well-defined and that they show, and look at yourself on stage before you go out, before the audience comes in, so you could see, is the light hitting your brow in such a way, this includes men, so that your brow disappears. It's kind of disconcerting when you can't see an eyebrow. Moving on, we have Anna Neptrenko, a magnificent soprano, who may not have been born with these magnificent cheekbones or these features that Maria Callas and Renee Fleming have, but she seizes what she does have. She has a round face, but she has her gorgeous dark hair, and she wears big jewels, and she wears voluminous gowns, and she seizes the stage, not just with her voice, but with her presence. So you can't use, oh, I wasn't born with a certain beauty. It's what you do with it and what kind of a statement you want to make. Now, there are also performers who, we also have Cecilia Bartoli coming up. Look how gorgeous. I love it when a soprano exposes her chest, because that's the source of her sound. And when I see a buttoned up soprano or any vocalist woman, I think it has to change their posture. And if they're out, they're going to show out. We have people who make daring choices not to appear in public in any way, but you'd better take my music the way it is. Here we have Martha Argerich, who's a magnificent pianist, performing on stage. This was taken during a performance, smoking a cigarette with her hair covering her face. That's a statement. That's a real strong iconoclastic statement to, you had better accept my music and not look at me. But she's saying it very loudly and clearly, and still in the current day, you can see her with her gray hair, it's frizzy, and when she plays, it covers her face, which I would ordinarily say, don't do that. Make sure your hair is away from your face. Expose your neck, expose your face, let people see your expressions. But if you're gonna break the rules, go ahead and break them big time, but don't do it by accident. Choices, talking about choices. Here's the Cecilia Quartet. They are a unit. They appear visually as a unit. They're wonderful musicians, but when you see them on stage, they've clearly conferred with one another, not just about the music. They don't only communicate musically, but they've made a decision to appear as a solitary unit. And you can bet that their music reflects that, as opposed to another quartet, which is coming up. Lovely musicians, but immediately I say, well, is she a soloist? Why is she wearing this pink frilly dress? Is she different from her other musicians? No, it was a quartet. They should have agreed to play together. I mean, it's a beautiful dress, but it's not, I don't think it's suitable, because I don't think they respect one another to appear in that way. And finally, there's the Chronos Quartet, our esteemed co-contributor to the High Peaks Festival. Ron Ziegler is a member of the Chronos, and you could see they choose very edgy music and they choose to express their individuality, but there's a unity that each of them has their own look, and yet they work together. And so this concludes my slideshow. And I'm looking forward to meeting each of you. I understand, Suli, you have a lesson. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us about your, there you are. Hello.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself and what your instrument is and how you perform. And are you dressed for performance right now?
Yeah, she wears for the performance. Her outfit is for the performance.
Yes.
And then she's going to introduce herself really soon.
Okay. Looking forward. Hello, Suli. Very nice
Hi,
to meet you.
my name is Suli.
And are you a singer?
Yes,
You're a soprano?
yes.
And what, with your dress and your hair, I'm curious to know, what is it that you are presenting to us? What are you showing us? Is there anything specific?
뭐라 해야 되지? 위클리복이라 해야 되나? 그 연주할 때 간단한 연주할 때 입는 옷.
So I will translate. Hello. So she told me that she wears this kind of dress for very not formal concerts. So like master class, it's like kind of it's casual performance that she wears it.
It's a very beautiful dress. How when you perform, do you hold your hands behind your back?
No.
Can you show me, as if you were going to perform, how you present yourself?
자세?
So you clasp your hands and you stand. I think the dress is very beautiful. I would like to see either more or less of your arm. The puffy sleeves hit you right in the middle. So my eyes keep going down to the bottom half of your arm. I love seeing your chest. Your hair is a beautiful chignon. You have a very simple makeup. I think if you were going to be photographed, you would make your hair a little smoother. And you can perhaps make your lips stronger. You have beautiful cheekbones. Suddenly, when you pushed your hair behind your ears, your cheekbones emerged. And very, very nice. Your chignon, I love very much. I think it's beautiful. Your fabric is a beautiful color. It's a great color. You can never go wrong with that. If you were going to do a more formal performance, what would you choose to wear?
Thank you.
Not yet. I'm going to translate, so give me a second. So 너 중요한 연주할 때는 뭘 입을 거냐고 선생님이 물어보셨어.
중요한 연주할 때 저희 한국은 검정 색깔 많이 입는데 미국은 튀는 색깔 입는다고 하셔가지고.
So I'm not sure it's a little different. In Korea, usually for singers, when they have a really formal performance, they usually wear black. But in the United States, they have own very colorful dress and things. So, but she say they usually wear black for the formal performance in Korea.
Well, I notice that you have extremely, when you're engaged in conversation, extremely expressive hands, and you've put a beautiful nail polish on, and I like that. I think that's wonderful, and you should take advantage of that, including just during a class like today. You stand tall and use your hands. They're wonderful. Do you have any questions?
연주할 때 혹시 앞머리가 있는 게 더 좋은지 아니면은 없는 게 더 좋은지 상관이 없거든요.
Okay, she has a question. So as you see that she has a bang here, right? So
Yes.
she's wondering that it's better for her to have a bang or not. What do you think?
Well, if she's going to have a bang, it's wonderful, but they're a little frizzy. So if she's going to have a bang, she should flat iron them with a bit of a curve and then break them up a little bit. It suits her face. If she's going to wear a bang, she should definitely keep the hair on the sides behind her ears so that her cheekbones show. May I see how you look with your bangs off when you move your bangs?
수야, 머리 위로 이렇게 올려봐. 그 앞머리를. 이렇게 올려봐. 완전히.
완전히?
이렇게 잡고 있어봐. She's afraid.
Oh, well, I would like to say, first of all, please tell Suli, your eyebrows are perfect. Beautifully done. I love them. You're very lucky. You have a beautifully shaped face, wonderful oval. Your cheekbones show whether you wear bangs or whether you have them brushed back. So you can do either way. Your choice. You have a natural beauty.
Okay.
If you're going to wear bangs, make sure to take control of the bangs. If you're going to brush them away, make sure to take control of brushing them away. As you can see, when I brush my bangs away, suddenly my face becomes kind of nondescript. I'm not lucky like Suli to have a beautiful triangular face.
Okay.
Does she have other questions?
No.
No? Well, thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you. I think you do a beautiful job. Can I see your sleeves pushed up and more puffy?
수리야, 지금 여기를 조금 이렇게 앞으로 하고 여기가 조금 더 도드라지게 만들 수 있냐고. 여기 약간 이게 있잖아.
여기가 어디예요? 여기요?
여기 어깨 여기 선을 조금 더 이렇게 해봐.
이렇게
조금 이게 좀 뽕이 살도록.
살더라?
Yeah.
뽕을 더 올려.
Yes.
올려. Yes. 이렇게. 더 예쁘다.
Yes. Now open the chest a little bit. Just a
이거
little bit.
앞으로 좀 열래 이렇게. 그렇게
앞으로요?
하고.
이걸요?
아니 그냥 이렇게 다듬어 이렇게. 그리고 여기를 이렇게 하고. 옳지. 위로 올려 이렇게.
Oh, yes. Suddenly your silhouette. Your arms have shape. Before, your arms looked like little sticks coming out of your sleeves because of the length of the sleeve. Now, with the puffiness and your exposed chest, you suddenly, I see, can you step back a little bit?
뒤로 가라고요?
Yes. Suddenly you have a silhouette that's defined and clear. Before, the beautiful dress hid you. Now the beautiful dress enhances you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Good luck on your lesson today. It was very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dion.
Yes, my
Thank you for-
pleasure. Thank you.
For now, may I meet Grace?
Hi.
Hi. Hello, Grace. So nice to meet you.
You too.
Can you tell me about yourself?
Hi, I am 20 years old. I am a junior vocal performance major, soprano, at James Madison University, and I hope to be a performer someday for opera.
Are you dressed for performance right now?
Yeah, like Sully said, a more casual performance,
Mhm.
like an area recital.
Well, suddenly I like the way your hair looks when it's off of your shoulders. I don't think.
I wanted to do that a little earlier.
Yeah, I don't. My personal opinion is a soprano should never have her hair in front.
Mhm.
It should always be, the more you can expose your chest, your poitrine, and your vocal cords, and the better.
Mhm.
And I think if it's exposed, your entire posture will reflect that. And do you mind stepping back so I can see more of you? So it's a lovely skirt. You look very nice, and it looks like you just. Oh, they're pants.
Yeah.
It looks like you went to your closet and you said, let's see what would be nice today. And I've got, nice makeup and I've got nice hair, but really Bertolt Brecht in Threepenny Opera, there's a line that just jumps out at me. Somebody says, oh, that's nice. And the response, I think it's Mackie, I don't know if you are familiar with that opera at all, responds, art is not nice. Art is not nice. When you choose clothes for yourself, don't choose to be nice. Don't dress to be nice, because you're not singing to be nice. You're singing to be, well, I mean, if you're a soprano, you should be a diva. You should embrace that and be extravagant with yourselves, because sopranos the roles are extravagant. Even the ingenue roles have, drama and franticness about them, and fainting and whatever. And a mature role has tragedy, and you have to be able to seize that even during your auditions. And so do not pick a pretty blouse. It's a very pretty blouse and pretty pants. Pick something that, well, you know what you're going to be singing. Dress the part. You can take on that character. It's never inappropriate to show up, to present yourself as what you want to present yourself. I love your eyebrows. I think your makeup is lovely. You have an amazing face. You could do so many different looks, and there are a million YouTube videos with makeup tutorials. Please experiment with all kinds of looks. Pull your hair back tightly. Expose those gorgeous cheekbones you have. Wear jewels, wear lower cut things, show your shoulders, and use your hands, use your body for expression, and never be nice, because you do seem very nice.
Thank you.
That's not, and it's, imagine that you're going out on the audition stage and they're seeing 6 sopranos in a row, and one of them takes charge, and you all have really beautiful voices, really expressive, beautiful voices, but one of them strides out. Now, the people who are auditioning, and I'm not talking about schools, although I think that's got across their mind also, but to take part in a program, who's going to bring in the money? Who's going to sell the tickets? Who can they promote? It's the braver person. So be brave. Always be gracious and polite, of course. And always, your music, is paramount. But when you're stepping out onto the stage, you want to make a statement. You want to present yourself. And you come forward and you say, hi, I'm Grace. My name is Grace, and I'm from wherever you're from. And I'm going to be singing this. And thank you so much. Instead of saying, hello, I'm Grace Mead. I am a soprano. I studied here, and I'll be performing this for you today. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Make sure you make eye contact with everybody, which you're already very good at. And take charge of yourself. Be brave. There's nothing better than being brave, as you saw from the pictures that we went through. Of course, these were people of great renown and had, over a period of time, gained the courage to do that. But even though you're a young 20-year-old, never present yourself, oh, I'm just a 20-year-old. I'm just getting started. Do it. Go all the way with it. Do you have any questions?
No, that addresses a lot of the things that I'm trying to change about myself now. So thank you.
Are you creating a website, or are you just sticking with study right now?
Well, I just recently switched to the performance major. I started out with education.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, now I'm trying to own the less teacher side of myself and now the performer side of myself.
That's very exciting. Well, congratulations. You're off to a very good start, because you look beautiful.
Thank you.
But don't be nice.
Okay.
Don't be nice. Be brave. You feel the passion to be a performer. So it's terrifying to be yourself on stage. It's terrifying to put yourself out there. So why not create a persona who can walk in front of you and protect you from the people who are watching you, so that until you've jumped into the music, you don't have to worry about anything. You know, you've got your costume on, and it's going to be really helpful. So good luck and congratulations, and thank you for joining High Peaks. And
thank you.
Thank you. And Prisha? Prisha. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hello, Prisha.
Hi.
Let's see. There you are. Hello. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
What's your instrument?
I'm a vocalist.
And what's your range?
I'm young, so my voice hasn't exactly settled so much yet, but
How old are you?
I'm 14.
Oh my goodness. You're a very mature 14.
Thank you. I sing as a soprano.
Well, this is difficult because you're torn between being 14 and developing and wanting to be a performer. But what you can probably use as inspiration are young ballet dancers.
I happen to be a ballerina. I mean, I quit recently, but I did it for many, many years.
Well, then you know how to put on makeup, and you know how to tie your hair back into a bun, and you know how to look so that your eyes show on stage, and you know how to wear makeup. Use your ballet persona before you come out as a soprano, as you're developing. Because if you were going to be doing a ballet recital, even as a member of the chorus, you will prepare yourself rigorously, not just with your ballet, but with your appearance. You'd make sure your shoes are on tightly and that your bun was impeccable. And I'm not saying that you need to perform with a bun, but you do need to do something, that you take charge of your appearance, because then we're not looking at you, but we're looking at a being, a thing, an essence. And then you start to sing, and that presentation that you've put on disappears behind your voice, and your voice takes over. But it gives you the confidence to stride out, even as a 14-year-old. It's not inappropriate for you to, as a ballet dancer, to wear makeup, is it? Well, it's not inappropriate as a soprano to wear makeup either. So if you're going to give a recital, go ahead, pull your hair back, put on some earrings and a necklace or bracelets, and own it. Be brave. And the more you practice being brave, the braver you're going to get. The easier it's going to be, the more it's going to become internalized. It was very nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
May I meet Santiago now?
Hello.
Hello, Santiago. It's very nice to meet you. Tell me about yourself.
Yes, sure. Close the door so my Jack Russell Terrier doesn't come barking in. I am Santiago. I'm 23 years old. Music student at George Mason University. And first time doing Berkshires. I'm a baritone. And yeah, nice to meet you.
Oh, I'm sure you're getting some great vocal master classes for baritone.
Yep, had one with Mr. Jay Lessinger.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, baritones, of course, sees the stage, but you also saw in the photographs of Jean Rondeau. Of course, if you're doing a part and you're working an ensemble, as an ensemble baritone singing with others, you have to present yourself in the way that is amenable to the other performers on the stage and however you're being directed. But as far as presenting yourself as a persona, a baritone, and creating a website and a space for yourself to start selling yourself, you can see that there's a wide range open to you. You have long, beautiful curly hair. You can do all kinds of things with it. Go ahead. I love your glasses. I love your look. You look impeccable. You're completely presentable. You could continue exactly the way you are, and it's wonderful. But if you ask me, I say, go ahead and be brave. Wear your hair down sometime. Take photographs, or you know, maybe you may decide to cut your hair and wear it waxed out. Do you have any questions for me?
No, not a question necessarily. I guess, yeah, with the hair, I tried to, more of a statement, I guess. I tried to, yeah, I've thought about letting it grow, and I did have a time to do a shoot where I had kind of let it go and try that different look, and I did kind of like it. Still fairly new to having longer hair, so I kind of I don't fully know what to do with it yet. So that's something that I have to play with a little bit. But yeah, I'm interested in doing that. I guess my question would be, yeah, how I can kind of play with my outfit a little bit, because I feel like you know, I feel like men sometimes have it a little bit easier with you know, not having to do like less options, is sometimes like in terms of attire is a bit of a blessing. I'm just like, oh yeah, I have a suit and it works for like funerals and weddings and like
well, it's a very nice suit. It's a beautiful cut. The tie is just skinny enough. The collar, I love it. It's a great length, and I love the way that it kind of curves. You're already making a statement with your suit. It's not so simple. You know, it's not, you've got a great belt on. I mean, there's a whole package there that you've already put together, and it looks very thoughtful. And I'd like to congratulate you on that.
well, thank you. Yeah.
Can I see you sideways? Can I see your tailored profile? Oh, it's an absolutely gorgeous suit. And the shirt, you can turn front again. The cuffs show beautifully. It shows tradition and it shows mastery. You could always wear cufflinks if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
As far as your hair, you can make your hair contradict the traditional elegance of what you're wearing. I'm willing to bet that your pants are a little bit short and not breaking on your shoes, because you look very stylish. So you've been thinking about it, but you've also been acting on what you've been considering. I'm curious to know, were you happy with the photographs with your hair down? Did you like it?
Yeah, I was pretty happy with them. Wish I had them. I could pull them out now. It might take too long though. But I was pretty happy with them. I noticed during the shoot when I had my hair tied up, kind of like the poses that I myself would pick, just not even like on any command or anything, would be more serious and like poised. And then when I let my hair down, I noticed I was smiling a lot more, and it was like a more like free and light kind of look. So I'd be interested to explore that a little bit more in a performance setting to see what that would look like.
I can only
started
you.
Yeah, I started out kind of like this, very much like I am now. And then I kind of like gradually started like unwinding. I had I like loosened this and like let my hair go and kind of like went a little bit crazy, and yeah, you could tell the difference in the look and like in the way that I wanted to present myself with the look. It kind of like fed into each other. It was interesting in that way. Yeah,
it's a remarkable affirmation of the point that I think is essential about presenting yourself. The way you look and the way you dress yourself, if it's conscientious, it's also going to take over your unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
It will give you permission to behave in other ways. So I encourage you in a performance situation to let your hair down. I mentioned this before at our last session. When Peter Serkin, the pianist, premiered Messiaen, the music of Messiaen, he came out in white robes, and he was usually a very buttoned down son of Rudolf Serkin, second generation genius, high expectation person, to come out with long hair and robes and his little glasses and start performing with the passion that he performed. It was shocking and magnificent. And I think you have that in you.
Yeah, no, that's very bold with the hair and the white robes.
Well, I mean, he chose it because he thought it suited the music. But when you do a recital, you're in charge of who you are. And congratulations, because it's wonderful that you've got your long hair and your gorgeous suit and these wonderful glasses. Feel free to change them up and try different things. I congratulate you. Thank you very much. And thank you for expressing to us all to see how your appearance affects your performance.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I noticed before we go on to Nina, I noticed that somebody has asked a question. Carolyn, can you tell me what that is?
Yes, we actually have two questions. First one, what is your opinion on no shoulders showing rule during a performance?
I'm not familiar with this rule.
Yes, sometimes with certain ensembles, orchestras, or choirs, sometimes there is a rule to not show the shoulders. I know in my experience, I've had a lot of instances where the minimum was a short sleeve. We couldn't even have straps. Yeah, so I think they just want your opinion on rules like that ensembles are enforcing.
Well, I think that when you're working in an ensemble, whether it's an orchestra or a duet or even a venue, and if they have rules, it's beholden upon you to respect those rules. If they don't want you to show your shoulders for whatever reason that they have, I applaud them for being so specific. It certainly makes getting dressed easier for you. And if you are an iconoclast and you choose to be an iconoclast and you run into a venue or a group or an ensemble that requires you to be more conservative, well, this is an opportunity to submerge yourself in another persona and accept it. So I think you should always respect these rules. Why fight it? How would it benefit you? Do you think that will help you stand out? Not in a good way. It'll just, Glenn Gould was a famous iconoclast, and he and Leonard Bernstein would have very public rows about performance choices. But still, Glenn Gould would appear on stage in his suit and tie, although he appeared in many other places and many other personas, because he was very clownish. I don't know if you're all familiar with him, but there are wonderful videos where he takes on voices and acts in characters, and he's completely unhinged. And also, as a soloist, he indulged himself in wonderful ways, singing along with his playing, bringing out the counterpoint with his voice or with his body or with movements or idiosyncratic ways of touching the keys. But when he was playing with an orchestra, generally, even though he was a famous iconoclast, he would respect what the rules of the venue were. And so I agree with it. And there's a second question?
Yes, your thoughts on wearing prints versus solids. I'm not quite sure about maybe in the performance situation, if you think it's better to go with a solid color, or if a print is too distracting, or you should show your personality with a print. Do you have any strong opinions on that?
Well, I think a solid color is always safe. But for example, I don't know if Beth, you're still there, if you could bring up that picture of Anna Neptrenko wearing a print dress that looked quite glorious. It was mildly printed. It wasn't a loud print.
It'll take me just a minute.
It was the very last picture of the slideshow. And it's quite elegant. I think you can wear a print. If you want to wear polka dots, well, you better be making a statement with it, and it should suit who you're presenting. If you're going to wear a loud print, it should suit the venue and suit the performance that you're doing and the music that you're playing. I think if you were to walk out to play a solo or play a violin recital and you're wearing hot pink ruffles, I think that's what people will be thinking about instead of your performance at the outset. You may win them over, but it will be an obstacle. Look at this gorgeous print, this gorgeous chiffon and taffeta gown that she's wearing. And her shoulders are showing, by the way. And it's very full. I'm sure she's got a lot of crinoline on underneath. And it's got big, bold, beautiful roses all along the hem and along the body of the dress. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Well, thank you for asking, whoever that was. I think if you're gonna wear prints, they should be really intentional. We had one participant the other day who was wearing a beautiful taffeta. She wore a leotard top and a beautiful dark burgundy taffeta skirt with a wide band, and it had black patterns on it. And I thought it was very beautiful. And the only thing I had to say to her was, well, your leotard's a little buttoned up, show your shoulders. And then suddenly, you know, she flowered, and her dress was gorgeous. It was a gorgeous gown, skirt, with a big wide dirndl band that came right up under the breast. And I loved it. Nina, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Please tell me about yourself.
So I am entering my first year of college at the University of Maryland, and I will be studying violin performance. So yeah, it's nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you. Do you mind stepping back so I can see your dress?
Of course. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of taffeta and satin and of cowl necks and exposed shoulders. And I think that dress is simply gorgeous.
Thank you.
I think you can be bolder with your hair, like slick it tighter, or make the curls more defined. I think your dress has a fabulous silhouette, and I think you could put more lipstick on. Your eyebrows look terrific. You can wear, I don't know, would you wear that necklace with the violin? Does it get in the way?
I actually would. I mean, this is not like a problem. It's more when something is more heavy jewelry. It's, you know, but I usually don't wear much jewelry anyway when I'm performing, but sometimes just a little accent, you know, is. Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful necklace. I love it. What is that? Is that an opal?
Sorry?
Is that an opal?
No, it's just like crystals. Like
it's really lovely, and I love the simplicity of it. I would like to. May I see your profile hair?
Of course, like from the side, or
yeah,
of course, like this.
So your hair's pretty short.
It's like down to here, maybe.
Oh, okay. It makes a very small chignon, and you have a butterfly clip holding it up.
Yeah.
So you could always consider, because here's your violin, here's your posture, so people are seeing your silhouette. And I think it's important to consider your silhouette, how your posture is, and the way you look. So if you have this little butterfly clip and a little chignon, then it's off balance from what's in front.
Right.
You need something bigger and heavier. You could probably get a big black bow that looks like your hair, or something to counteract your profile, because that's the way that's what people will see. Or wear your hair down. I love seeing hair flying during a violin solo. I mean, you got some Bach and you have some hair, but make sure it's got a crisp texture, and that curls are defined, and you know, come out with it nicely behind your ears. And you always thank your audience by bowing before you perform, and you thank your conductor obviously before you do it, and that's very lovely and respectful. And then you start to play, and your hair is down, and it starts moving around, and it becomes you know, it's like an animation of the music that you're playing.
Right.
So either pull your hair back tight and let your face show, and make sure you give it a good weight in the back if you're going to do it, or part your hair, give yourself some curls, wear it nice, come out and say your polite things and present yourself, and then rip it and let your hair fly.
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me?
Actually, I do. So as a violinist, I think like wearing jewelry in general is a bit, you know, uncomfortable sometimes, just because of, you know, everything. So what are some risks that you recommend taking in terms of like either clothing or anything like that?
What are some, I missed that word.
Some risks that you recommend taking? Like you speak about this more personalized like look. So I was just wondering what are some things? Yeah.
There's a big difference between when you're performing and what your website looks like.
Okay.
When you're doing a photo session and you're having photos taken with your website, you can wear a big bracelet. And diamond drop earrings, or you can do something that you wouldn't be comfortable doing on stage, and see if you're image before somebody hires you, so that they want to, you want to draw them in. You want them to click on your name and say, well, we need a performer for this. We want somebody who's going to do that. Can you, will you play this venue? Will you play this wedding? Will you play this concert? Will you play this festival? You want to seize them somehow, so you can be brave in your dress silhouette, in your hair silhouette, or curly, or even stick straight. That's a look. You make a choice and do something, but don't just kind of nicely tie it back and let it be simple. That it doesn't add anything, but it can. It's a missed opportunity. And as far as baubles, and I've seen violinists with jewelry on, or cellists with jewelry on, and I find it distracting, because I wonder, isn't it uncomfortable? Doesn't it sort of get caught, and doesn't it cut off the blood, and isn't it affecting their emotions? And so that's where my brain is going. I agree with you about staying away from jewelry. I mean, you could always wear an ear cuff that sparkles and catches the light on the audience side, or put a diamond kind of something, or pearls or something like that in your hair. But as far as being brave with your image, do it in your self-promotion.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Well, this has been wonderful. Have I forgotten anybody?
No, those were all of our participants lined up for your words of wisdom tonight. I actually had a question.
Please.
From me, just a personal question. Do you have any makeup tips? I know sometimes we're on a stage under harsh light, and then there are times where we're going to be in a production that's going to be filmed, and we're going to have cameras. So do you have any tips on how you might do someone's makeup if they're going to be on stage versus on a camera?
Well, it's a really good question, because on stage, you're a distance from your audience. And so I notice the texture of makeup on camera. Even if somebody's wearing a very light foundation, I can see it generally. But I also notice when people look shiny or greasy. I would say you want to keep your foundation for camera moist underneath, but then blot it and make sure that you see yourself on camera. Like, have them turn the monitor towards you so you can see how you look. Sometimes you hardly need any foundation at all, and sometimes you need a real pancake. It's a big question to me, because I watch a lot of makeup videos. And not too long ago, it was really how to make yourself look rosy and healthy and vital and natural. Make your eyelashes look long without looking like you're wearing eyelashes, how to keep your lips looking plump, and how to keep your cheeks rosy. And now it's a completely different thing. People wear really defined eyes, and they emphasize their crease, and they wear 4 different colors on their eyes, and they wear eyelashes. And I think the Kardashians are single-handedly responsible for that, because and all the young Disney actresses wear just gobs of makeup, and it looks so heavy to me. That's my personal taste. I prefer something much lighter. But then when I watch these videos, and there's this one woman who does videos where she talks about crime, true crime. She describes true crime while she's doing her makeup, and it's riveting. And she does the most outrageous makeup on herself. She puts on these heavy eyelashes, and she puts on these colors, but she starts with a naked face. So you watch her technique. Meanwhile, she's talking about some serial killer and their life story. It's really great. her name is Brianna something, but I'm sure if you do serial killer and makeup on Google, you can find it. There are so many drag makeup. It seems that the popular makeup for actors and performers and anybody who's appearing in front of camera lately is much more commedia. To me, it's commedia dell'arte. It's hide your features and create something new. You have to try it out yourself. I tried to do that kind of makeup on myself, and I looked, to me, utterly ridiculous. Obviously, you have to wear makeup that's comfortable for you. When you're on stage, you can wear a heavier makeup. You don't want to shine. If you break out into a sweat, there's nice absorbing powders. And the most important thing on stage is to make sure your eyebrows are well defined, because eyebrows disappear on stage. They're gone. You've got the lights coming up. Even though I've done my eyebrows today, if I get under the light, you can see they start to disappear. All of you've done very well with your eyebrows, but one of the first things I notice when somebody steps on the stage is like, do they have eyebrows? Or else I don't think about it because they've done their eyebrows. For makeup, the things that stand out are lips and eyebrows. For camera, the texture of your skin. You want it to be really flawless, but you don't want it to be heavily powdered. You don't want it to look cakey at all. And as far as doing your eyes, there are so many ways to do them. I mean, do you use a black line or use just a little shadow? A trick of mine when doing, I didn't do it for myself, but you can really do a dramatic eye, is if you use a flat brush like this, and you dip it into black, you wet the brush with water and then dry it, and then you dip it into your dark color, and you look into the mirror with your nose into the mirror, and you pat the brush flat against your eye, and you can get a stronger and stronger black right along the eyelash line, and it fades up, and it can make a very dramatic eye without looking like a line. That's one trick that you could try. But I think our time's up. I think we've used our time. And if nobody has any, oh, I see there's one more question.
Two quick questions from Joey Yo. Thank you so much for this presentation. I am a violinist and was wondering what hairstyles you would recommend for someone with a rounder face. And she's a girl, Joey Yo. So she was wondering hairstyles for rounder face, and she's a violin.
Right. So you're self-conscious about your face being round, and you want to know one thing that will, you could always shape your face a little bit with makeup, you know, just a little shadow right under the cheekbones, and pulling your hair back, and wearing a high big bun will create, you want to have your hair off of your neck so that you can see this line more, and that's what's going to be exposed more. So I think something bigger and heavier back here is going to make your face look more chiseled and less round. And if your hair is down, or if your neck is covered here, you'll notice if I cover my neck with my hands, my face suddenly becomes the focus. The front of my face is what's showing. But when you have a rounder face, you want this line to show. So you want to expose your neck and your chin and create an angle there. Even if your face is round, if you pull it off of your neck, I don't know how, you know, I'm not a young performer, so I don't know what you see, but can you see when I pull this away or when I have it like this, what the difference is and how round my face looks. So that's what I think. And then there's one more question. I hope that helps.
Yes, I know you touched a lot on eyebrows this session, and we do have a more specific question. Any tips on filling in eyebrows? This person,
Absolutely.
I have a patch where no hair grows and it's hard to cover. And I too have eyebrow problems. So I would love to know. I'm very interested and invested in.
Paint them on. Get an eyebrow paint. There are wonderful new eyebrow pencils that have 4 prongs. Do I have one here? I just got a box of them. Excuse me for 1 second and I'll show you.
This is crucial knowledge. We will wait. We need to know. Santiago is double checking his own eyebrows. We need to know.
I hid everything that I had on my counter. I don't have them, but it's there's a couple of things I have right here. A pot of, I had it, but you know, here it is. This is called Tattoo. It comes in a little pot. It comes with a brush, and it comes with this kind of brush. I don't know if you can see, it's an angled brush. And you, look at that, just fills it in. Make your brow shape. And then there are also these new pencils that are ink that have 4 prongs, and I wish I had them here, but I had my mother's birthday party this morning. So everything that I had ready to go kind of got cleaned up in the kitchen with all the mess. But don't be afraid to draw an eyebrow where there's no eyebrow, because it's not going to show from the stage. And then one of these pens, I just got a whole box of them. I'm so sorry that I don't have it at hand, but they're called eyebrow forks or something like that, 4-pronged, and they sell them at CVS. You can get them online or at CVS. I hope that helps. Please don't be afraid to draw on your eyebrow. Use whatever color is appropriate. You see this one's sort of a taupe color. I'll show you how it looks on my eyebrow. I'm gonna change the shape of my eyebrow. So you could just draw on what you need. Ta-da. I want to thank you all for participating. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the extreme pleasure of allowing me to speak to you and for sharing yourselves with me. I think that's it. Goodbye, everybody. I think there's a closing remarks. Carolyn, take it over.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Garen. We'll have to request, if we don't want to be virtual again, but if we are, we'll request a part 3 eyebrow only lecture.
I would love to do an eyebrow clinic, and I would love to do an eyelash clinic just for people. I got a group of friends together and did just all different kinds of things you can do with your eyelashes. And that's lots of fun, from individuals to, you know, the 3 layers of strips. So anytime, I'm available for anybody to call with any questions or anything.
I love that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you to our participants for getting dressed up, dolled up. You guys all looked great. And thank you again to Garen for bestowing this great knowledge to us. I'm just so dazzled. I can't speak.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you guys for joining us. If you want to sign up for more of our events, to attend more of our events, I will put a link in the chat, which is our calendar and also Zoom registration page. We have a cello masterclass tomorrow and a talk with Jeffrey Ziegler of the Chronos Quartet. And then I believe yes. And tomorrow evening, we are going to be having a master class with Irina, our violin faculty member, who is fabulous. So 2 master class events tomorrow. Thank you guys again for joining us. We hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and we hope to see you tomorrow for more talks. Thank you again, Garen.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Prisha. Thank you, Santiago and Nina and everybody. It was a pleasure. Have a great evening and a great rest of your week. Bye-bye. Thanks again, Carolyn. Bye-bye.